Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Seattle to Unknown. I am Melinda.
And I'm Sarah.
Just in case you forgot. This is episode 3 for us.
Yay, we made it.
You can sound more or less enthused, I think. Good job.
I am very enthusiastic, so suck it.
Well, I'm going to question that. Anyways, what is this week's in-flight cocktail for you? Did you come up with anything?
Air?
Is it air or recycled air? Because there's a difference.
I bring my own air on airplanes. What do you think I am?
I make my own air.
No, you don't make your own air. That's not how that works.
Make my own air. No, I'm special like that. I don't need your recycled air bullshit either.
Because apparently you're a tree.
Yeah. Duh.
You're so weird.
I am a tree. I might be jacked up on a lot of caffeine and sugar right now because I got up stupid early to do adult things before this.
Care to rephrase that? What sort of adult things were you doing?
I bought new tires for my car.
That is not how we define adult things.
I was adulting. Is that better?
It's closer. But when one says they've been engaging in adult activities, they don't mean changing their tires.
I was adulting this morning, damn it. And not like that, you perv.
You said it, not me.
You perv. Anyways, should we talk about one of the big news stories about travel stuff right now?
Yeah, do you want to start? Or which one are we going with? There's two.
WoW Airlines. There is. There's a bunch, but I think one of the major things is that WoW Airlines is not a thing anymore. They're just done.
Yeah, they announced that
Completely
this morning.
Dunzo.
And I think a lot of people kind of had a hunch it would happen because they've been canceling so many flights out of the U.S. But I think they thought they had an investor on the line and they just apparently couldn't reel that fish in.
Because WoW Airlines is a budget international airline that is known for being cheap for their airfare and also having really limited carry-on sizes.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I flew WoW to New York, and I was so proud of myself. I spent 6 days in New York, and I saw their baggage policy, and you only get a personal item for free. And I looked at that. I was like, oh, no way. You are not wringing a single extra cent out of me. So I packed for an entire 6 days just in a tote bag, and boy, was I smug about it. You get on the plane, and you're like, look at all you idiots. You paid for baggage. Losers.
But how many layers were you wearing in that moment?
No more than usual. Just clothes and a jacket. And not even a big jacket because it was... yes, I typically wear clothes on planes. But yeah, just that and a trench coat. God, that makes it sound so much worse. It was a classy trench coat, not a I'm a flasher trench coat.
Sympathy to everybody who actually had WoW flights canceled on them abruptly.
Yeah. Well,
that's gotta suck because I don't think they're doing anything to help.
I think they're
just like, good luck, everybody.
Iceland Air, whatever it's called, is picking up some of the slack and helping people get out of Iceland. But if you were still in the U.S. and you had a trip planned, sorry.
Which Icelandic Air is actually, I like them. I've been on them. They were pretty good airline.
Yeah.
So that's got to be an upgrade. You can actually have carry-on items instead of like a grocery bag.
God, when I flew WoW, it was quite the experience. So one of the things about WoW, because it's such a budget airline, is they don't give you anything for free. There's no drinks, there's no snacks, there's no food, nothing. You are completely on your own unless you wanted to pay kind of a premium price. Like, here's a sandwich. It's $12 and it's tiny.
Whoa. It's 3 bites.
Yeah,
Enjoy
exactly.
it. Make it last.
So everybody brought their own food, typically. I had planned to bring food, but I ran out of time.
Did they give you water?
No water.
Or do they charge you for that too?
Everything is for a price.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was bad. So I had planned to get food during my layover in Reykjavik, but the flight was delayed and we ended up having like a 15-minute layover, which is nothing. Like, you are sprinting to the other end of the airport to get to your next gate. And so I didn't end up bringing food. I am starving. And when I get seated, I'm next to a Scottish guy, I believe, or maybe he was Irish. It's been a couple years, so I'm a little foggy on the details.
She apologizes if she's insulting anybody right now.
Oh, they're all the same. Just kidding. Please don't hate me.
Nope.
Don't hate me. I was joking. And
remember, Melinda is the nice one in this instance.
And in most instances.
That I'm the nice one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's news.
You're aggressive, but you're aggressively nice most of the time.
What the hell are you drinking today?
Nothing. Anyway, let's get back to the story. And the girl on the aisle, the woman on the aisle was from New York. And she kind of gave off like a, you know what, I'm not going to describe it because there's nothing I can say that would be nice. She had just told the guy, well, you know, I've been in Patagonia for the last 6 weeks on a self-finding mission. I did yoga in Patagonia every single morning, and it was so amazing to greet the sunrise. And now I'm following my bliss to Los Angeles because my spiritual guider told me that I can do the most good in Los Angeles.
Well, everybody knows Los Angeles is where the heathens are. That's why you went there for so long.
Exactly.
That's why I visited. Yeah, that's why I visited. I had to say, hey, what's up, my heathen homies?
But, like, you know when you're on a plane and you're not a chatty person and you get stuck next to someone who's super chatty and it's just really uncomfortable because how do you tell them to stop talking to me? Well,
hey, I'm going to nap now. Wake me up if they come by with free food.
Well, it was more challenging.
That's how you do that.
Because I was watching this guy get sucked into her story and...
about sunrise yoga in Patagonia where she was. Because it'd be a little weird if she was doing yoga every morning in a different location.
Yeah.
That's not Patagonia.
So I'm on the window seat listening to this and I'm thinking, oh, this poor sap. He's going to be stuck with this girl for the rest of the flight. We've got like 5 hours left. And lo and behold, he is right there on the same page with her.
Yes!
And you can tell that these two are completely two peas in a pod because when we are up to cruising altitude, she folds down her tray table and slams an entire wheel of stinky cheese onto her tray table and just starts digging in.
How did she get so much cheese on the plane?
It's a solid.
That's what I want to know. But still.
Well, I
Is
mean,
it one of those like you have to eat it before you land because it'll be confiscated at customs?
Probably.
Okay.
And then he follows suit. He folds down his tray table, whips out a bag of crackers, and a little Ziploc baggie full of pickles. Pickles in pickle juice.
Yeah. What, you gotta, pickle juice is good for, like, recovery if you're an athlete or hungover, because all the salt.
But he was neither.
He was a yogi, it counts.
Oh, no, he didn't. He said he wasn't into yoga, but he admired those who were into it, and he just loved their spirituality.
I like doing yoga, but I don't think I'm that spiritual of a person, like, at all.
Well, you also
am I doing it wrong?
Say things like, I'm following my bliss.
Well, I'm gonna start because that just sounds fucking amazing. Right now, I'm following my bliss. What's up?
To the cake?
No, that's gone. I ate it all. It's just a cake in a cup. It's not like I ate a whole, like, 8-inch cake or anything crazy.
But this flight was absolutely insane because it was like watching a live episode of The Bachelor unfold right next to you. Like, they told each other their entire life stories. It was only a 5-hour flight, but by the end of it, I felt like I knew them because they had told me absolutely everything. And I kid you not, when the flight landed, her dad called. Or maybe she called her dad, but she ends up passing the phone to her new friend.
Did she call him her new friend?
And she goes, Daddy.
Or something more.
She's something like that. It was like, Daddy, I want you to meet my new friend. And so he's chatting with her dad, and I'm behind them in customs, and they're exchanging numbers, and he tells her what hotel she's in. And
he tells her what hotel she's in?
Terminal. What hotel he's in. Oh, hush. And literally, they leave the terminal holding hands.
Oh, you should have turned to him and be like, are you going to offer her your rose? Because that's fucking amazing.
He gave her some pickles, and they shared the crackers.
I guess that's close enough.
It's like a rose.
I guess that's close enough.
But yeah, it was absolutely fascinating just sitting there going, oh my God, I've never seen, like, it was like lightning in a bottle. These two hit it off like that. And of course, the two people who bring stinky food on a plane, they should get married. That's just how that works.
Pretty much. And you know what? Good for them for finding love on a cheap budget airline flight that no longer exists. Like, they can't even commemorate their love by going on another trip on that airline again.
Well, it was 2017, so they had a chance last year.
I bet they're married.
But no more.
I hope they're married. I hope everything went well.
They've got tiny babies that do yoga.
And eat stinky cheese and pickles.
Yeah, oh god, those two.
Jeez. But yeah, bye WoW Airlines. I guess I wonder how
bye.
Spirit Airline is like the domestic American equivalent of that. I wonder how they're gonna fare.
Well, I think the difference is that WoW popped up when there was a boom of tourism to Iceland, and that boom hit really hard and then started to taper off. And because of that, you know, their sales just weren't quite up there. They tried to expand into other markets, but I don't think it was sustainable at the prices they were charging.
But if you do get a chance to go to Iceland, I highly recommend it. It's kind of expensive because everything's imported, but freaking amazing. Loved it.
Yeah. I'll go back someday and spend more than 15 minutes in the airport.
You should. It's great. It's pretty.
Oh, I got a concussion in their airport.
That's usually not something people brag about, but how did you get a concussion?
No, but it's the only Iceland story I have. So no, it wasn't a concussion. I busted my lip.
Well, now I'm disappointed and don't want to hear the story.
Generally. Okay, next story. So I was standing in line at our gate, and yeah, I'm going to tell you anyway. Are you kidding me?
I like that we paused for a transition. You're like, nah, I'm telling you anyways.
And it was near the eating area, and there was a door that led back to one of the kitchens, but it was flush with the wall, so you could open it and see it from the inside, but from the outside it wasn't evident there was a door there. And someone threw the door open, and it slammed me in the face and just busted my lip wide open.
Yikes.
That's my Iceland story.
Iceland beat you up.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm never going back. Just kidding. I will go back at some point.
You should go back. There's a lot better things to happen to you in Iceland besides your lip getting busted.
Yeah. I hear that. Nobody else seems to have this story, and I don't know why it's exclusive to me.
Because horrible things sometimes happen to you specifically when you travel.
Yeah.
AKA
that's
vomit
true.
seat.
Vomit seat.
Anywho, so last week's episode, we kind of teased that this week we'd be talking about what we actually put into our bag. I guess more specifically, I think we were gonna do help me out here.
I could, or I could just leave you hanging. Which one's more fun for me?
Rude. Shoot.
You love me, you know
how to get around filling up your little quart Ziploc bag with liquids, what other options there are out there and whatnot. Also, again, we're still not sponsored by any of these brands that we're talking about right now because we're new.
Of course we're not. I've seen our download numbers. We're not sponsored.
Yet. Help us out, people. Subscribe, listen to us, love us, leave reviews on things because I think that helps us out too.
Yep, subscribe so that we know you actually get the episode and I don't have to forcefully put your hand on the download button myself.
I mean, if you let me borrow your phone, I can help you out and I'll subscribe you to us, whether you want it or not.
Just don't help my mother with that.
No. Let's not get ourselves both in trouble.
She messaged me to say, I hear you and Melinda did a web thing. I go, okay. She goes, yeah, but I can't get it to work, so I just have to assume it's good.
Yes.
Like, yeah, let's go with that method.
Also, everybody assume it's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's our PSA for the day.
You can just cut to the chase and give us a 5-star review.
I haven't listened to any of the episodes yet, but I hear that it's pretty funny and amazing. 5 stars.
I'm good with those reviews. You know what? If I know you and you want to leave a review, just let me know. I will send you the text and you can paste it right into the comment field.
Is that cheating? Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Not if they don't find out.
Oh, yeah.
That's how cheating works,
right?
right?
So. I think that's exactly right. I don't know. Anyways.
Okay, Karen in Georgia.
That's what happens when you listen to too much of that.
You just start saying look, listen, and exactly right.
And also, well, here's the thing. That's kind of my new favorite way to lead into things sometimes. It's great. It kind of makes people panic a little.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's talk about toiletries.
So, I'm going first because I just decided.
Oh, I was going to preface this by saying, I know when these 3-1-1 rules first rolled out, a lot of people were upset. Like, I can't bring my full thing of conditioner. I can't do this. Oh my God, what am I going to do without this, this, and this? I think for some people that was a difficult transition. But for me, not that I was traveling a whole lot during this time period, it made things easier because I wasn't packing things that were unnecessary. Because I know, like, when we went to Florida back when I was 13, my mom and I both thought we needed to bring a full-size shampoo and conditioner.
Well, yeah, God forbid you have to share.
Why? So, on the one hand, yes, you are limited on the things you can bring if you do carry-on only. If you are super attached to these products and you need to check a bag, go for it. But if you're the person who kind of, like me, wants to stick it to the airline and not pay baggage fees, this is actually kind of freeing in a way because you're cutting out the dead weight. So yeah, you can't bring everything, but think of how much easier it is for you by being limited.
And there's still ways to find things to make your traveling like as close to being home almost as you can for certain products. You know, you can, it may not be the exact same thing as you use at home every night, but it's something to help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and kinda, but I'm just gonna keep talking as if I do understand.
Smile and nod, Sarah. Smile and nod.
Smile and nod. Yeah, so, and the other thing is, by cutting down liquids, you are limiting the risk of bottles exploding in your bag. So, there's a bright side. Yes, it's all kind of security theater, and the idea that you are safer because you're only bringing 3-ounce bottles is complete garbage. Everybody knows you're no more safe with a plane full of people with 3-ounce bottles than you are a plane full of people with larger bottles. There was an SNL sketch several years ago about training the TSA agents, and they say, well, okay, so here's the new rule. You get a liter bag with 3-ounce bottles in it and no more than that. And someone raises their hand and says, okay, so if anything under 3 ounces is safe, what is stopping a person with their 3-ounce bottles from meeting up with another person with 3-ounce bottles and combining them? Oh, well, they won't do that. Well, it's complete, like, I don't know.
It's kind of like asking you if anybody's putting something in your bag that you're not aware of. How would you know?
Yeah, or, like, the fact of the matter is that the limitation on liquids does not make you a single % safer than before. It just doesn't. And that's the unfortunate fact that sometimes when you deal with air travel, it's that you have to follow rules that are stupid. Like, there's a lot of ways you could phrase that, but they all boil down to that rule is stupid.
It's very true.
But on the other hand, I actually like it. Like, I like not feeling like I can or should bring tons and tons of bottles of junk that I'm not going to open.
I mean, I've never gotten to the point where it's like, oh my God, my little bag's too full of stuff. I have to pick and choose now. It is nice that I don't have to pack like unnecessary things. I like it. I kind of like it. And who doesn't like looking at like the little travel size stuff anyways?
Exactly. You get to feel like a giant. And it's purely security theater, something that is designed to make you feel safe without actually making you any safer. It's kind of a fact of life, and we don't really have a whole lot of control over that. But the good thing is that there are plenty of alternatives that help free up space in your liquid bag, but still do the same job.
That's what I was trying to say.
You kind of got there. Or maybe I'm just tired and didn't get it.
So one of the things that we've seen pop up on travel groups is people are always asking, oh, hey, I saw this thing about this brand called Lush, and they make shampoo bars that are solid. Has anybody tried them? Do they work? All that good stuff. It happens more often than it probably should. I feel like that's a well-covered topic, but apparently it's not. Lush shampoo bars. How do you feel about them, Sarah?
Well, here's my disclaimer.
Well, here's the thing.
And that's that I worked for Lush. I worked for Lush for 6 years, and so it would be irresponsible for me to not disclose that. So there it is. I worked for Lush. Despite the fact that I worked for Lush and got a lot of free stuff, I'm actually pretty critical of them because while some of their products are really nice, a lot of them perform poorly relative to what you might get at a grocery store.
They're wasteful plastic alternative.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Lush is you get to feel good because you're buying an all-natural product that's fair trade, and they're often vegan, though not always, and they don't waste a lot of plastic or packaging of any kind. So those are the pros. The cons are that the performance isn't always great, and they certainly aren't ideal for all people. And a great example of that is the shampoo bars because, okay, they're packaging free, so they're not wasteful. The products smell really nice. The problem is that they are really heavy on SLS. And SLS, some people think it causes cancer. I don't believe that personally, but who knows what causes cancer.
Living. I'm pretty sure living is the lead cause to cancer. So
the thing about SLS is that it's a detergent, and it's a really strong detergent at the levels they put it in their products. So because of that, it's really astringent and it strips color out of your hair.
Yeah,
really
I was going to say that. Yeah, I have partially dyed hair and they're all sorts of colors usually. And my color has like no chance against those shampoo bars. It's gone in 2 weeks if that's what I'm using while traveling.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Now I'm doing it.
It's so good. It's so good.
So there's a trade-off involved. It's solid, which means it's not taking up space in your liquid bag, and it's not going to leak on your stuff, but it's not a long-term solution for hair care. So if you're traveling for 2 weeks and you wash your hair every other day, you're probably fine. If you wash it every day, that might start to push it a little bit.
So we're kind of talking like it's going to be dry, it's going to be tangly, and it's going to look a little crazy because chances are you're probably not drying it with a hairdryer. You're letting it air dry. So it's going to...
Unless you're in a nicer hotel that provides that.
Which, it's not a 100% guarantee hotels of what kind of hairdryer.
Yeah, it's not a given.
I mean, the nice thing is it does smell really good. You can also double it and use it as your body wash because that's what I do because it's soap. It's literally just soap. Yeah. I mean, it smells really good. You just get crazy hair.
Yeah. And the thing to keep in mind is that Lush has, I don't know how many different variants of shampoo bars at the moment.
I can look it up.
But several. And, okay, you look it up. And
you babble,
so
keep babbling. You're doing great, kid.
I'm so good at babbling. You guys have no idea. Okay. If you've listened this far, you probably have a pretty good idea.
I'm so good at making things up.
So of the range of shampoo bars, they have some that they say are dual purpose shampoo conditioner. They have ones that they say are more conditioning than others. They have all kinds of intended purposes. And I think that's somewhat of a stretch because the base product at its core is all the same. The different bars have different additives. So some might have this oil or this fruit scent or whatever, but they're the same.
There's also 14 of them. Oh, 11? Shoot.
Yeah, so it's gone up since I worked there. And yeah, so a lot of times the salespeople will try to tell you, oh, if you had bad luck with this one, get this one because it's more conditioning. I don't find that to be true. You're never going to get that like slick, conditioned feel from even the ones that are supposed to be quote unquote
conditioning.
Shampoo conditioner.
Yeah, I don't get a conditioning effect from any of them as much as I wish I did.
Yeah, so when people ask, do you recommend Lush shampoo bars? I give it sort of a hesitant yes. Yes, it will clean your hair. Your scalp will be clean. And those bars last a really long time. So if you invest in one now, you'll probably have it a year. Like, you use very, very little of it to get the job done, which is why I suggest if you get one, cutting it into quarters and only bring in a quarter, because you're not going to go through it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or probably
not
even
unless you're going to the land of perpetual sweatiness.
Yeah. So the thing about them is because they're soap, they can get kind of mushy, and that will use up your bar faster. So you have to like swish it through your hair and put it somewhere to dry outside the shower almost immediately because it can take a while to dry out and you don't want it to get funky.
Well, the worst case scenario is that you kind of just scoop it out with your fingers the next time if it has melted. It's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's still usable. I mean,
so
it's a good
those are the shampoo bars.
There's more places that do shampoo bars other than Lush. I found one at a at a soap shop at the one of the beach places. Oh crap, where were we? I think we were at Ocean Shores in Washington. There's a soap. Why can't I say that? A soap shop. And they also had shampoo bars, so I bought one. I haven't tried it out yet. But I think if you go on Etsy, you can usually find people that have made shampoo bars and conditioner bars. So there are more options than just Lush.
Yeah, I highly recommend, if you're in the US, because outside the US the shipping's a little crazy, checking out a shop called Center Square. It's like a reference to Hollywood Squares.
But with smells.
But it's spelled scent, as in sense of smell. Exactly. And they have a great conditioner bar that, if I still lived in the U.S., I would buy again.
I bought one of those.
Again, shipping is
and
awful.
And it was probably...
You bought one?
I bought one from them, and it's probably by far the best solid conditioner I've tried from them. I mean, it's still not the same as liquid conditioner, but it's pretty damn good for traveling. If I'm feeling, fancy.
Yeah, and it does give you like the slick feeling. You know when you condition your hair and you can run your fingers through it and it just kind of slips right through? It gives you that feeling. And so, yeah, I highly recommend them. The one I got, I think, was called Pink Sugar.
Yes! That's what I got! It smells so good.
See?
Yeah,
great
it
minds.
Smells great.
Yep. So sometimes it's a little bit of hit and miss. You have to kind of try things out until you find what works for you. But if you're looking for a solid alternative, Lush is not a bad place to start. It's just not necessarily the end-all be-all.
I wonder if you could use like one of their actual bars of soap for shampoo. Or I wonder how that would end up. I don't know. I don't know if I want to try that.
Yeah, I'm always fine with using shampoo as soap. I've not had success using soap as shampoo.
I have not had the guts to try it the other way around.
Yeah, I think you'd need something really, really... Their soaps tend to be pretty drying. Like, I don't think they're super moisturizing, so I think they might be worse for your hair than the shampoo puck itself.
And maybe, I don't know. If anybody's tried it, contact us. Let us know how it worked out.
Yep, so that was shampoo pucks.
Yes.
What other alternatives? What other solid products do you use? Is there anything else?
Well, we've, Well, Lush also has massage bars that are good if you need like a hand lotion or a body lotion or anything, if you tend to get dry skin. That's something also you could cut up, easily bring that's solid. Again, you could probably find other people that make it.
Yeah, I've actually also used... Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, Etsy is an absolute treasure trove. When you get something bad from Etsy, it can be really bad. But if you find a shop with really good reviews, try it. I mean... What's the worst that can happen? And
everything's usually reasonably priced for that kind of stuff online too. Like you get a good chunk of product for your money. So
yeah, and the one from Center Square, that conditioner thing, I don't know if they've reshaped them since I ordered mine last, but they're pretty hefty.
It's been a while. I think I still have half of mine too, so that's kind of saying something.
Yeah. Let's see, other solid alternatives. Solid moisturizers for your face are really good because you can also use those on your hands. Or solid toothpaste, like Toothy Tabs or toothpaste powder.
We've gotten Toothy Tabs before in the past, and they've worked pretty good in a pinch. I don't think it's something I would want to necessarily rely on a whole trip, because a little tube of toothpaste doesn't take up a whole lot of space, but they're pretty handy if you just feel like you need a little freshening up once you get off the plane. And then you don't have to like dig through everything. You just need the tabs and a toothbrush. Easy peasy.
Yeah, there's a brand... I don't remember what it's called, but they sell them at a local store called DM or DAM. And they also make a variation on Toothy Tabs. And I thought I'd really like them because they're a bit more densely compact than Lush's Toothy Tabs. Lush's Toothy Tabs come in a little bottle. And I found that if that bottle gets rattled even a little bit, the tabs start to turn back to powder, which is fine. Like, I have no problem dipping my toothbrush in and using the powder because that's all you really need. But so this other one is more compact, like a pill. And I was really excited because I thought, oh, these aren't going to fall apart in transit. Well, I used them, and so the Toothy Tabs just kind of foam up and are a little bit gritty, like baking powder. Well, these ones turn into an actual paste.
Ooh.
but it kind of felt like chewing on notebook paper.
No.
You know, when you're really little and there's that weird kid who's like, try chewing paper. And you're like, okay. And you do it for half a second. You're like,
I
no,
was never a paper chewer.
It was kind of like that. One of my really good friends was, and I was like, she seems to like it. And I like her, so it can't be that bad. And I was wrong. Oh, yeah, Moose agrees. He thinks I was wrong.
Moose. And I have been seeing ads for, there's Listerine tablets that you chew and it turns into mouthwash. And in the commercial, it's someone sitting in the middle seat of a plane using it. So if I can try and find those, I'm going to try them, I think. Because I'm kind of curious on how that works. So I will, if I find them, I will report back on my findings.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you got to do, is just kind of keep your ear to the ground. Because there's constantly people finding new ways to get around this liquid thing. And yeah, I mean, just try stuff. I don't know. There's always something out there.
And then one of the bags that is like quintessential to my traveling is something that Sarah actually got me, and it's a 3-pocket bag. It's from Rumi, Rume, and that's where the majority of all of my toiletries go into. So I just have that one bag, and then I have a little pouch with the makeup that I do choose to bring, because I like to not look like a 12-year-old boy sometimes. I like to actually look like my passport picture.
I find it weird that you think you look like a 12-year-old boy
in the 90s. I totally look like Joseph Levitt-Gordon from when he was on Third Rock from the Sun with the longer hair.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt on Third Rock from the Sun?
Did I not say that right?
No, you said Joseph Levitt-Gordon.
Levitt? Is it backwards? Oh. Well, I looked like him from Third Rock from the Sun when I was...
Have you seen him? We should all be so lucky.
We differ in appearances big time now. I think he got the better end of that deal, but I looked pretty similar to him as a child, so yay, 90s.
Now that I think about it,
Dude,
yeah,
there's a picture
right.
I'll send it to you. It's gold. So yeah, I like to not look like a 12-year-old boy, or, you know, look somewhat close to my passport picture when we go through the airport. So I do choose to bring a little bit of makeup with me. Sorry. I mean, you know.
Sorry, the dog is trying to wrestle me. Do you mind?
The fuck was that?
Anyway, well, that's the thing, is he just hit the mic.
It was like thong.
So how you prioritize how you pack is entirely up to you. There are people who want a full face every single day, no matter what. And there are people who don't put on any makeup whatsoever. And that's fine. It's how you prioritize your packing. So by packing makeup, you sacrifice something else you could potentially pack. Whatever that is, who knows? It's a trade-off. Everything you pack is inherently a trade-off, and there's an opportunity cost involved. So yeah, pack how you want in a way that fulfills your particular needs. So if you're a makeup person, pack your makeup. If you're not a makeup person, bark like a dog.
You get a little bit more space in your bag. But no, I don't bring like my good brushes. I just get some cheap brushes that'll get the job done, because I'm just doing really simple things just to make myself feel like I'm a little bit more put together than, you know, what I might be. And if, you know, I'm potentially in a picture, I want to seem a little bit presentable. And when I come back and show people, I want them to be like, oh, that one's you, right? Instead of being like, who's that?
I don't recognize that ghost.
Also, you guys, sunscreen's kind of important.
Yes. And there is solid sunscreen. So if you're really hard pressed to fit everything in your liquid bag, that is another thing.
But I also like that reading different travel things, people suggest getting sunscreen at the location that you're at, because it's going to be better suited for the area that you're at in the world. Have you seen that one?
Plus, in a lot of places, they want you to use reef-friendly sunscreen, and so you need to pick one up there that you know fulfills the requirements of that local government.
I think we got sunscreen in Japan, and that was probably been my favorite sunscreen ever. That stuff was amazing.
It really was, and I cannot find it anywhere now. You'd think we'd have it because it was Nivea, which is a German brand. I cannot find this particular one for the life of me.
Time to hit the internet. I know there's some of the Biore ones that we saw that were like the hydrating gel ones. I don't know. Their sunscreen was amazing. It worked. It didn't feel like you were wearing sunscreen, and it didn't make my face break out. A+.
Yeah, and we both, before we found it, we both got horrendously sunburned in Japan. Really, Moose?
Proof that Sarah does have a dog.
Okay. Because he just pulled a bottle out of the trash and is now playing kick the can in the living room.
You were calling me Buddy, right? Not the dog?
If you have to ask,
no.
I think you already know the answer. Okay. Where were we?
Wear sunscreen.
Yes, wear sunscreen.
Don't get horrifically burned and then find the good stuff. Just go get the good stuff.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. We walked into a store where the women working there didn't speak English.
It was Lush. We were desperate and we were looking for a Lush. Be honest, Sarah.
Okay, yes, it was a Lush. And we were trying to communicate to them that we needed something to put on sunscreen. Something to put on sunburns.
Do you need a spatula to put on your sunscreen? I know we're both really pale, but...
So we needed something to put on a burn, and we're trying to communicate to them. And I end up, like, the best I can come up with is pulling the neckline of my shirt to the side so they could see the burn line and going, ow!
And they're like, oh!
And, oh! They looked shocked by how bad these sunburns were. Like, they could feel our pain.
They take really good care of their skin and make sure that they don't get burned. And we're the idiots walking in with burns and they're like, oh my god, you're probably going to die from that now. Let me try and help you. They were so sweet, and yes, thank you.
Yeah, they were very nice, and they gave us little sample bottles, which is kind of a Lush thing anyway, but I think in our case it was more of we give out samples, but we're giving you a pity
like, you're not
size
leaving
sample.
Without taking this with you because you're not okay right now. It was very kind. I appreciate it so much. It helped a lot. So much.
It definitely did. Oh, speaking of little samples, that's the other thing you can do. Go into stores like Sephora and get sample sizes so you don't have to bring a whole big bottle of something that you aren't going to use up anyway.
I think they let you do like up to 3 samples of things. I know they do keep track of it, so you can't go bananas on it. But if you want liquid foundation or anything, those little tubs will last you a pretty good long time, as long as, you're a little bit okay with maybe doing a lighter coverage than normal. But that is a good idea. I've actually gone into Lush because I couldn't find like little jars to put things in. And I was buying things there too. And I asked, I'm like, can I get a couple of the empty jars? They kind of looked at me funny, but they're like, yeah, no problem. So, that's always an option too. Because that's all I needed was like that little jar, and the lids actually stay on really good for them. So if you have any of those little sample pots, keep them. Wash them out, reuse them. Recycling. Boom.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of a thing that I've picked up in the last few years is when I use up a container of something, I look at it and think, could I use this somehow? Whether to store decanted liquids of some sort or gels or lotions or whatever. And you'd be surprised with what you'll find is useful. So, and when they say, when you're in school and you're learned.
We're not good with our words today.
You learn.
At all.
No. And you're taught reduce, reuse, recycle. They're in that order for a specific reason, because that's the order of importance. Reduce using things and reuse them. Recycling is the least effective of all three. So it's something to be aware of when you've got containers already on hand. Can you reuse these? Can they be repurposed? And lots of little containers can be super useful for putting different products in or putting your jewelry, or it's just, if you keep that in mind and you apply a critical eye to what it is you're using and buying, you'll find a lot of the stuff that you might buy, like little travel-sized bottles, you don't really need to buy. You've probably got something that you can use.
Don't hold on to everything in a hoarding manner, please. Use good judgment.
Well, apply a critical eye.
Use good judgment. Don't be a hoarder.
But hoarding's so fun. I'm not a hoarder. I just buy stuff and then immediately get rid of it. Like, what's that? I hate this. Here, it's yours now.
What's that? My suitcase is too heavy and I have to ditch stuff? Here, Mr. Garbage Can, this shirt is yours. It did work.
It worked.
It did work.
I just Marie Kondo
everything. You did that before Marie Kondo was a thing on Netflix, though. You should have trademarked it.
Well, it was a book long before it was a show.
I'm kind of behind. I don't know. We're catching up on old horror movies right now.
It's
so
okay.
That's been kind of fun. What?
Because you're Marie Kondoing your horror movies?
No, just the ones on Netflix. Here's the thing about horror movies. Like, it's either going to be really bad, so it's going to be hilarious, or it's going to be pretty good. And you're still going to make stupid comments during it because you're at home, so no big deal.
Okay.
Don't you judge me.
Yes, and?
Stop judging.
I'm using my one improv skill. Yes, and.
That's a terrible improv skill. That's just like sitting there and going, and then?
That's like the primary rule of improv is whatever your scene partner says, you yes and to move the scene forward.
Because you have literally nothing to contribute and you're panicking.
No, I promise. Like, the number one rule in improv is yes
no,
and.
I'm sure it is, but it's kind of a cop-out line.
Well, it's not literal. You don't have to say yes and. It's just that you don't disagree so that the scene regresses.
Unless that's what you're supposed to be
like
doing
saying,
for like a weird comedy routine.
Well, they don't do routines because it's improvised.
That's true. Okay. But you get the gist. You get what I mean. You get what I mean. Anyways, Sarah, do you have a handy-dandy travel tip for this episode?
Yes. My travel tip is keep your toiletry bag packed and in your suitcase. So my suitcase is in my room right now in a drawer, and it has my toiletry bag in it with my travel size stuff all ready to go. Because I find the number one mistake I make in terms of packing is I forget something like my travel toothbrush or my tiny tube of toothpaste. And it's so much easier if you put it in there and keep it in there, because maybe suddenly you need to go on a trip. Like, you just got an alert that you've got to go on something for work, or someone says, hey, we've got a cabin and we want you to come out this weekend. Or you're just really bad at planning and you've got a trip coming up and you're leaving your packing to the last second. If you keep it all in the bag, in your suitcase, ready to go, you're not going to forget anything because it's all just there. So there's no need to worry, did I leave my toothbrush at the sink? Or do I have my tiny travel hairbrush? Just put it there, put it away, and never worry about it again.
I thought your tip was going to be about like people who unpack their suitcases and actually use like the drawers in the dressers at hotels and whatnot.
No, because those people are aliens.
I don't understand that. How do you not leave stuff behind?
I have no idea.
If you do this,
I've never done it.
Tell me your secrets. Tell me. Like,
how do you remember everything?
You are like, I don't know, well-organized person. I don't know. Kudos to you for being able to do that, but I don't get it. I would forget something, and it would probably be something that I'd really want back.
It requires a level of sorcery that I don't possess.
Nor me. I don't get it. But anyways, my tip of the week is going to be that as soon as you get home...
Oh my god, I hate you.
I'm kidding. I am so sorry. I didn't realize I've done it twice, and Sarah didn't stop me. But every now and again, I might try and sneak that in again, because it's kind of funny, because nobody stopped me until later. And it's like, oh yeah.
You say nobody as if you don't have the I don't know, as if you don't have any control over your actions.
I am not responsible for some of the things that come out of my mouth sometimes. Sometimes it's just, just blurting things out and things I shouldn't have said in the first place.
That is not how accountability works.
It's not. I'm well aware of that. But no, my travel tip would probably be, like, an actual legitimate new one, is that make sure before you go on your trip that those little toiletries you've had stashed away, that they're at a level of fullness that's going to get you through your trip. Like, check how much you have of something left, so then you don't get caught off guard that you literally have one day's bit of toothpaste left and that was it. Now you have to go find some.
Gross. I have been there.
Yeah.
Although usually it's not because I've run out, it's because I took the tube out because I ran out of toothpaste, like the full size tube, and I was like, I'll just use my travel size, and then it doesn't get back in the bag.
Yeah. So check your liquids and make sure you have enough for your next coming trip. There you go. New one from me.
There you go. I knew you'd have some original thought.
Eventually, but you know what? That may come back in again. It's a good tip.
You're just going to Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So, I don't know. Do we know what we're talking about next time?
About how much I want to punch my dog right now? Just kidding. I would never punch my dog, but he is driving me insane. Moose! Shush!
Well, on that barking note, I guess that's it for us for this week. Tune in next Monday, I think is what we've got going on for when everything will be up.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Tune in at the beginning
Probably
of your
Monday,
next week to hear more of our shenanigans and babblings and not being able to say things properly.
Yay!
Yeah. So thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. You can
Pinterest.
You can listen to us on, a bunch of things now. We're on iTunes officially, so yay! We are.
Yay! Finally,
yeah, that was a bit of a struggle. We are on Stitcher, Google?
SoundCloud, iTunes. Well, not iTunes, but Apple Podcasts, Google, and Spotify.
Yeah. So check us out, like and subscribe us. Tell your friends.
Like and subscribe us.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, bye.